Well, hey there, welcome. If you are catching this two-part series on the warm market and the cold market, I am so glad that you are here. My name is Shanah Castillo. I am a top 50 leader in the multi-level marketing industry and an independent national executive director for Color Street. First of all, I want you to know that as we go through this discussion and this training on warm market and cold market strategies, I want you to know that home-based businesses and multi-level marketing businesses, also referred to as MLM businesses, are both interesting and successful. Many of the longest standing organizations in our country have the same business model, such as Mary Kay, Avon, Tupperware, Pampered Chef, 31, and the list goes on. And it's really just a marketing strategy where we, the people who are in the sales force, in the field, are paid not only for the things that we share and sell, but also for the sales of those we've invited into this business model, and thus giving us multi-levels of marketed income. Now, the habits that you have created is the current level of status that you have with your warm market. Think about the people that you surround yourself with. We've all heard the common quote, you are who you surround yourself with, right? The top 5 people that you surround yourself with. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think as we go through this about the habits that you've created to be the current level of status that you have with your warm market, okay? Now, the level of integrity that you've had absolutely plays a part in how quickly you're going to have success with the warm market. It doesn't dictate your success, but it plays a very valid part, okay? When it comes to your warm market, the people that you associate with most, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. The first is, are they people that think successfully? Like, do they have the brainwave to think successfully? Do they think about success on a regular basis? Do they have a successful mindset? Are they abundant thinkers or scarcity thinkers? What type of warm market have you created? Those are the things that you have to think about. An example is COVID-19. Right? We're going through this crazy season of our life and in this year, and it has been absolutely crazy and chaotic, right? I don't typically post political views or COVID-19 opinions, but my warm market knows me enough to know that I don't put up with the bullcrap. So I am unapologetically me, right? That is my motto. That is my momentum. That is my legacy, to be unapologetically, authentically yourself. And that's how I am. So when I traveled to Florida in July, 2 of the 3 of us, right? I went with 3 girlfriends. It was a total of 3 of us. It was myself and 2 of my closest friends. And 2 of the 3 of us were sent messages and comments on all the things that we shouldn't be doing and all the things we should do in their opinion when we got home. I wasn't one of them. Why? Because I have crafted habits and demonstrated my ability to think and do for myself and how I choose with wisdom and Jesus guiding me. My warm market knows not to come out with me with politics or drama because I don't have no time for that. And that's the mindset that I go at it. That is the attitude that I have in my life. I choose my warm market. So how does your warm market see you? Do they see you as driven? Do they see you as someone who has created success for themselves or their family? Do they see you as a leader, an inspiration? I want you to be honest with yourself. And if they don't see you like that today, then you have to understand and you have to take time and pause and reflect and figure out how you can make changes to that so that you create your warm market and the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Now, depending on the answers from those things that I just had you think about, you're either typical or abnormal. Typical in your warm market does not already see you as successful, and abnormal in your warm market sees you as a leader and as someone who has already created success, whether it's for yourself or the people around you. Now, if you're typical, I want to encourage you to lead with your product and not as much the opportunity, right? You have a passion for the product, whether it's the same company as myself or another company. You should have a passion for the things that you wear and share, digest, all the things that you market to your warm market and your cold market. You should have a passion for that. So I want to encourage you, if you are typical and they don't see you as a successful person or envision that they personally interpret success as, then I want to encourage you to lead with the product. A suggested invitation message might be, I just got into this new thing and I don't know if it would be a fit for you, but I think you'd love the innovative, fun new product line. I'd love to get your honest feedback and if you're open to trying it because I think you will like it. What do you think? Okay? Now, if you're abnormal, like myself, I want to encourage you to lead with the opportunity and not the product. So all the times that you're following up with people and you're leading with another product, you're leading with another sale, another booking, another party pack, whatever it may be in your organization, I want to encourage you to flip the switch and lead with an opportunity and not the product. So a suggested invitation message may look like something like this. Hey, Shanna, I'm doing this new thing to pay cash for Christmas this year. I'm serious about it and I'd love to do it with you, but the reality is I'm going to do it with you or without you. If you like it, great. If not, no big deal. Would you be open to hearing more about it? Okay? 4 rules of what not to do when you approach your warm market. Number 1, don't trick them. This is no gimmicks. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? And so don't trick them into doing something. Be honest, be authentic, be unapologetically you. Number 2, don't beg them. You don't have time to beg people. You don't need people. You want people. You want to do this business side by side with your friends, not the opposite, okay? Don't guilt them. Don't say, hey, you remember how I helped you pack up your house about 2 months ago? What about doing something for me, right? That's not fair. It's not authentic and it's not genuine. Number 4, don't lie to them. You don't need to lie. You don't need to trick. You don't need to beg and you don't need to guilt people into doing this. Believe it or not, there are people in this world, in your space, that want the opportunity to do more and to be more. Okay? Now, maybe you ask and they say that they aren't interested. You can use that as an incredible opportunity to get referrals and to gain more interest in the person that you ask. So let me explain how. When they say, hey, I'm not interested, it's not for me, whatever they respond to you with, I want you to go back to them and I want you to try to send a voice clip, get them on the phone, and I want you to try not to text this unless you absolutely must. But I want you to say something like, no problem at all, Shanna, listen. Do you know anyone who has been affected by the economy this year that actually wants to make some extra money for Christmas or savings? And then all of a sudden they realize, oh, you're not attached to the outcome. You're not attached to the response anymore, right? Because you're going to marry the process, divorce the results. So once they realize that you're no longer attached to the outcome of their response, they're going to start to wonder if they're missing out on something, or they're going to start thinking about the people in their life that need cash for Christmas or need help so that they don't have to put things on credit anymore. Or maybe they're struggling to make ends meet because they've been quarantined multiple times because of the situation, right? Worst case scenario, they're going to ask for more information, or they're going to give you the names of a couple people that they think would be a great fit, or at least somebody that you can reach out to. The referrals absolutely work too. So don't be afraid to go back to them and say, hey, I know it's not for you, but I'm just kind of wondering if you can think of anybody in your life that's been struggling this year, because we all have been struggling a little bit. And just be relational, just be relatable, find a common denominator in the fact that we've gone through a really tough season. You're not being ingenuine, you're being authentic, and you're saying, hey, I care, and I would love to help somebody who needs and wants the help for Christmas, for savings, for vacation, whatever that may be. Maybe it's just for paying their bills or putting food in their family's table, right? So just be very authentic and very genuine when you approach people. Now, we all have these people, right, that think it's a pyramid scheme or it's a scam. Well, first of all, if you go to Google, you can find scams on food, on church, on unicorns, on every single thing in and out of the industry, and I want you to keep that in mind. Don't take it personal. It is just a need for intelligence and information. They don't have that sort of information that we do, okay? It is our role to just enlighten them, be polite, and be genuine and authentic in our offer of opportunity. And whether or not they accept it, that shouldn't matter to us. Because again, we are going to marry the process, divorce the results. But what if they do call it a pyramid scheme? I want you to ask them why they feel that way. I want you to get a little bit more information on why they really genuinely feel that. Is it because they've been sent a cold message before that's really turned them off? Is it because they've been in the industry before and they don't believe in it? Like, what is the true rooted reason for why they feel that way? Because there is a reason that they feel that way. And then I want you to explain to them that you probably felt that way in the beginning too. You had no clue what it was. You thought it was like back in, 20 years ago, and I'm going to date myself, but 20 years ago when you would receive things in the mail like, oh, you can stuff envelopes for money, right? Now that was a scam. just so you know. Like 20 years ago, that kind of thing was a scam. This is not a scam. So you can tell them and you can be relatable and say, hey, I know how you feel. I felt that way too in the beginning. And explain that you may have felt that way once at one point in time. But what you've come to learn and what you've come to realize is that the things that come easy are often too good to be true. But that this business and this model isn't easy. It's simple. It is a simple business model that when repeated and persisted and consistent in the way that you do your business, the way that you work your business with a business mindset and not a hobby mindset, that you know how much work and consistency and effort it takes just like any other job. The only difference is that you have a lot more tax benefit versus the W-2 people, right? A lot more tax benefits, a lot more things you can write off to offset your income with expenses, and you have a lot more freedom for an impact on the people in your life, and you're making an income while you make a lasting impact in the warm market that you have created, okay? So I have some homework for you today. I want you to do these things, okay? I have 3 things. First, I want you to write down the people that you most associate with. Now, this should be more than just 5 friends. This should be your really close internet circle. This should be your expanded inner circle. And you can start to include people in your outer circle. But I want you to think about the people that you associate with most. Because if you go back to the beginning of this video, we talked about the quote where the people that you surround yourself with and the 5 people at least that are in your circle that you are around all the time are the people that are going to be in your head. It's going to be the people that think like you. And the only way to shift that is to find new people to surround yourself with. So first and foremost, I want you to write down the people that you associate with most. Number 2, I want you to put a T next to the people in your life that you see as typical, right? The typical people are the ones that you don't see as successful right now. However that means to you, whatever success is defined in your mindset, in the way that you think, I want you to write down typical if you don't feel that or see them as inspiring, successful, things like that, okay? And then I want you to put an A next to the people that you see as abnormal, right? I want you to see them as outstanding. They are successful. They are motivated. They are driven. They are inspiring. Now, first and foremost, if you don't have enough abnormal people, I'm going to need you to look for some abnormal people. And I want you to befriend them and get acquainted with them and build a relationship with them that will end up lasting a lifetime. But the third thing that I want you to do is I want you to start contacting 5 people today and every single day for the next week or until we talk about the cold market and how you can get results in both the warm market and the cold market. But I want you to contact at least 5 people today and every single day for the next week or so. And I want you to contact the people from your list and either lead with a product or lead with the opportunity based on what I've talked about in this video being typical or abnormal, okay? And I believe that you can have success. And I want to encourage you and remind you one last time that in order to have results with your warm market, you need to surround yourself with the people that will encourage you to keep doing better and growing and doing all the things. You need to go back to them. If they say that it's not for them, don't be afraid to ask for referral. But I want to remind you the most to marry the process and divorce the results, and you will find results in your warm market. I hope that this helped you, friend.